Imagine this. You are standing on the deck of a beautiful cruise ship, enjoying the sights, enjoying the sounds, looking out at the sun setting over the ocean, and all of a sudden, you get the sensation that your feet are no longer on the ground. Matter of fact, you realize you have been flipped over the edge of the rail and you are plummeting down into the ocean. Next thing you know, you're gulping down water, gasping for air, and doing your best not to drown in the overwhelming waves of the ocean. Terrible, terrible experience, right? Well, I know most of us probably have not experienced that in a physical way, but have you ever been in your journey in life? Have you ever been going along your way and you've been doing some work, you've been doing some examination, you've been growing, you've been stretching, you've been conquering some challenges, and you're feeling good, you're feeling confident, life is going well, relationships are strong, money is good, business is good, and all of a sudden, you find yourself back in the same situation. You find yourself responding to that circumstance the way that you did before you did the work, before you had the counseling, before you experienced the growth and the breakthrough. You find yourself responding to the people and the situations in the same old way. Well, this can be so discouraging, but I just want you to know that this is just part of the journey. When you find yourself in that place, you're not physically in the water drowning, but it can feel mentally and emotionally as though that circumstance that has awakened something on the inside of you is overwhelming you. You can't catch your thoughts, you can't catch your breath, you can't catch your emotions, your adrenaline is surging, and you just find that you're responding in a way that you have broken free from. Don't be discouraged. It's part of the process. You are not going backwards. Sometimes that's the fear, is we feel like, oh no, I thought I overcame this. I thought I grew out of this. I thought I was stronger than this now. Well, let me tell you, you are. You're simply having a flashback into the old. And it is an opportunity to experience another level of growth and another level of freedom, another level of breakthrough in your life. I like to think about healing and growth kind of like as an onion with layers. As we start to take off layers, old layers of our life, they don't come off all at once. If you've cut an onion, you'll see an onion is not just completely attached each piece, but it's one layer next to another layer, next to another layer, and you can pull those layers apart. Well, a lot of times our lives and our healing and our growth is like the layers of that onion. So when you find yourself back in that same situation, you've been ignited in a certain way and you're not comfortable with the way that you're feeling and not sure how you're going to respond or react because you're feeling those old feelings again, just know you're not back at square one. You're not starting from scratch. You're not starting from the beginning. You did overcome. You did receive healing and you did receive breakthrough and you did gain new tools and new ways of dealing with things. You're just having a quick flashback. So just stop, breathe, and remind yourself, I'm not where I was before. This is simply a familiar feeling, it's a familiar situation, and it's stirring up certain feelings in me. So instead of panicking and thinking to myself, oh no, I've got to start all over from scratch. I've got to go back and find all these activities that I did to get free, and I've got to start from the beginning and do them all over again. I have found in my journey that that's not exactly the case. Once that initial response takes place and I can get somewhere quiet and I can get somewhere and breathe, and then I start to hear my own rational thoughts talking to me and saying, wait, this is not how we're going to deal with this. This situation feels similar, but it's not the same as what you actually experienced before. You're stronger now. You're more equipped now. You have more tools now. So I don't have to go back and reinvent the wheel. I simply have to remind myself of what I've already learned, what I already know. I remind myself of the growth that's already taken place. And from there, instead of out of a place of panic and anxiety, I can move forward from a place of calm, knowing that my healing is real. It took place and I still have it. My growth is real. It took place and I still have it. This is simply an opportunity for more growth, for more healing to solidify what I have already gained. It's not a loss. I don't know if we ever will one day just be in a place where we are 100% whole on 100% of all of the drama and the issues in our life. But you know what we can do? We can grow, we can expand, and we can continue to be open for more and more layers and more depth in our healing and in our journey. And what we have to do at that time is look back and remind ourselves, what tools have I gained along the way? What insight have I gained along the way? What mental ground and emotional ground have I taken over in my own life that has brought stability and wholeness and rationality that I've learned along the way? I'm not starting from scratch. I'm not starting from the beginning. And something that we have to keep in mind as well is our brain is substance, and our brain gets wired along certain pathways. And so if we have responded to certain situations the same way over and over and over again, over years especially, our brain gets wired in that way. And our brain and our body are in connection. And so sometimes what I say to myself when I have those old thoughts or those old feelings rushing in, I just tell myself, Aurora, that's just a worn path. It's a worn path in your brain, and it really doesn't have any significance or meaning. Your brain is just used to going down that path, and your body is used to responding. So it disarms that situation a little bit and says, we don't have to respond to every thought. We don't have to respond to every feeling. That is just the way I've been conditioned. So at the same time, I begin to recondition. That helps with those declarations that we have and with the statements that we're saying to ourselves and about ourselves in our situation. That helps also to rewire our brain, even calming ourselves in that moment, taking the time to breathe, even taking the time to smile by faith, to laugh a little bit, knowing it's not okay right now, but it will be. That's all part of rewiring. We rewire our brain in the way we think, and we rewire our body in the way that we are allowing ourselves to feel and to respond. It all goes together. If I just say I'm rewiring my brain, I'm training my thoughts, I'm changing what's coming out of my mouth, but I don't allow it to sink into my heart and affect my body, then my body will still be out of alignment with my mind and sending mixed signals. So my brain will be saying, it's okay, and my body will be screaming, no, it's not. So we have to work with them both together, not only in what we say, but in what we allow ourselves to experience emotionally as well. Healing, we've experienced growth, and we're in that good, strong, healthy place, but then all of a sudden a situation comes along and catches us off guard. Well, our brain is already wired on how to respond to that. Our body is already wired on how to respond to our brain. And that's when we can feel like we're lost in that ocean gasping for air, because our subconscious takes over and our body takes over, and we're almost left in the tracks and we're almost left dragging behind that natural response, that reaction that we have allowed for so many years because we didn't know how to deal with it any other way. But the good news is we can rewire our brain and our body so that we no longer have that knee-jerk reaction when those similar circumstances appear and cause us to feel like we have gone backwards in our journey instead of forward. You have not gone backwards. You are moving forward. And this opportunity, this feeling, that same old feeling that you're feeling right now, don't look at it as a problem. Look at it as an opportunity. If you've already responded in a way that you regret, guess what? You can forgive yourself, give yourself some grace, cut yourself some slack, give yourself a pat on the back and say, hey, you didn't respond the way you wanted to, but you didn't respond the way you used to. So that's a plus. And guess what? Maybe you did respond the way you used to. At least now we're able to acknowledge it, and it's not something that we're blinded to. So the fact that we can even see it is a sign of growth. It is a sign that you are not back at square one and you're not starting over from the beginning. You have grown, you are in a new place, and you are moving forward. So we can step back, gather our thoughts, remind ourselves that we are on the right path, remind ourselves that the growth we experienced is real and it is ours and it's not been lost, and we can move forward with the tools that we gained in that journey to bring us to that place and continue to apply them to keep growing. We can remember that we can rewire our brain, we can retrain our body, We can pat ourselves on the back. We can thank God for where we are at the journey. And we can say, wait a minute, I'm not doing it the same this time. And the fact that you're aware of that is a sign of growth in itself. So I want to read one scripture, and this is from Proverbs chapter 4, and it's verse 18. And I like this. I consider this one of those quiet scriptures. You know, I don't hear it quoted a lot, but I just love the fact that when I read it one day many years ago, it just jumped out to me and it spoke to me. So this is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 18. And I'm reading from the ERV this time. It says, "The path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter till the full light of day." The path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter till the full light of day. You know what that tells me? That I am on a journey. Proverbs is telling me your life, Aurora, it's a journey, and it'll get brighter and brighter and brighter. Even as the sun rises in the morning, it doesn't just bam, come all out at one time. It gradually rises. So that's how my life is. That's how my journey is. And guess what? That's how my growth and my healing is as well. It's not a setback. It's just shining brighter. Just go along that path and go along that journey. Don't quit. Don't give up. Don't look back. Don't think you're starting over from the beginning, because you're not. Just move forward knowing that it's all part of the journey and you are not alone. We're here walking with you. God bless you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.